What's up, guys? My name is Joseph, and if you want to hear about Ke Huy Quan and one of the Property Brothers fighting Marshawn Lynch, then boy do I have the movie for you. Today, we are going to be reviewing a new release called Love Hurts. Love Hurts follows the story of Ke Huy Quan, who in this movie plays a real estate agent who has left behind the life of being an assassin. Throughout the movie, we get hints as to his previous life and why he did the things that he did, as well as some relationships that he left behind. And when one of the people that he tried to save previously ends up coming back, he is thrust into the position of having to choose to turn back to his old life to try and save them or protect this comfortable life that he built for himself after he escaped. If that in any way interests you, then I would say go ahead and check out this movie. I went because I personally really like Ke Huy Quan, but as I will get into in my non-spoiler section, which I think I'll just start right now, I was not the biggest fan of this movie, I have to admit. It really pains me to say I wanted to love this movie so much. I knew that it was never probably going to be anything that broke new ground or that didn't rely on kind of certain genres and tropes. But I don't know, I was at least hoping that it would get a little more creative in certain aspects or push the story in directions that are unique to this film. And to the movie's credit, it does do that to a degree with the fight choreography. I could be totally wrong here. I think I saw an interview of the director, Jonathan Eusebio, who made Love Hurts as his debut. I believe I saw in an interview that he was a stunt choreographer. I could be wrong, but if that's true, then that makes a lot of sense because those were by far the best scenes in this movie. They had a lot of impact and weight behind them. They were pretty creative with a lot of the stunts and camera work, and really, yeah, the stunts were fantastic. There was a lot of over-the-top action that was one of the few stylistic things that this movie actually tried to do and that I thought really worked in its favor. There's a lot of scenes where Ke Huy Quan will kick someone and they'll literally fly across the room. There's this awesome scene in a house where characters are literally picking each other up and kind of throwing each other. Those scenes were a lot of fun. But in terms of story, this was lackluster. It really kills me to talk about a movie that Ke Huy Quan was in badly, but I mean, it's hard to even say that he was good in it. No fault to him. None of the actors were very good, and that I honestly believe just comes from some pretty poor writing and directing. There was a lot of very amateur feeling things in this. It just felt like there really was no thought paid to the actual specific characters, and it was so, plot devicey and tropey as a story. Really weak, structure. There were no real highs or lows. It was just very repetitive and expositional. I guess since we haven't really gotten into spoilers yet, I'll kind of wrap up the non-spoiler section. It's not the heaviest recommendation. I wouldn't say you should go rush out and see this movie. There's reasons that you might want to see it. If you want to see some good stunt choreography, if you like Ke Huy Quan, Marshawn Lynch even, then yeah, why not? Check it out. But I'm going to hop into the spoiler section and I'll get into more about this film. And I think you can tell where the review is probably headed from here. Hopping into the spoiler section, the story is nothing. It is literally just cliche. They do things in the most basic way. It honestly felt a little disrespectful to the actors in this movie for them to have such, empty roles. Ke Huy Quan opens up the movie as, they just make him as, the super happy, caring, carefree, chipper dude. But they do it in the most, non-specific, he's riding his bike to work and waving at all the neighbors. And they're, kind of calling out to him, but not really because I doubt they actually had anyone there. This movie also has an ADR problem. And there's this other villain character, Merlot, who is, the most stock. He has nothing to do. It looks like they just found a guy who kind of looked villainous, told him act evil. I don't know, sometimes he gets a little, psychotically mad a little bit, but it's so, nothing, it's not going to affect any part of the movie. The actors honestly didn't even feel like they were acting together or in the same project a lot of the time. It was really just no chemistry. There was no chemistry between Ke Huy Quan and Ariana DeBose either, who is supposed to be his love interest in this movie, but you never really learn anything about why they care about each other. There's like this kind of cringy like setup scene where he's like, she'd never would ever think about going for a guy like me. And like, it's supposed to be really sympathetic, but it's like, what are you saying? He's 50, she's probably like 25. And it's also just like, we have no idea why she would want to go for a guy like you. We don't know that much about you other than, again, this very basic stuff. We have no idea of y'all's shared history. Like, when we see him, he's just like looking at her and she's like a bartender at this strip club or something. And like all of her dialogue is like completely, she's literally not even a character. She is a plot device. She's like just basically meant to like bolster, well, I don't even know what is his name. What is his character? Ke Huy Quan. Marvin. She's just meant to bolster Marvin's character because she just has lines where it's like, you just look so cute. It's kind of confusing how a movie like this got made, but something that put it into perspective was my friend who I watched it with on the drive back said that this was made by the same people who did The Beekeeper from last year, so I don't know. I mean, I guess I could just rip into the plot more, but there's not much plot. There's like this big bad villain who's like his brother, Marvin's brother, and he's like the guy behind the scenes, and he drinks boba, which I think was supposed to be like this fun, quirky thing, but it's just like, okay, so he drinks boba. He does stab someone in the eye with it, with a straw. Boba straw. That was cool. That was one of the few moments I laughed. Oh, I meant to do this. I wanted to specifically highlight some of the moments where I did laugh. That was one of them, because he literally stabs it into Samwise Gamgee's eyeball. He falls over, and then blood just starts to pour out of the straw. That was good. Like I said, the fights were some of the best parts. Speaking of, another point that got an audible laugh out of me was when one of the property brothers and Marvin are fighting against Marshawn Lynch and this other dude who looks like this weird cracked out younger version of like David Lynch or something. But they're all fighting, and the property brother just like jumps up from behind a couch and gets shot in the head immediately. That made me laugh. And you see like Marshawn Lynch like through the gunshot hole. I don't remember specifically, but I think something with the side plot relationship between that like depressed employee and the poet assassin guy. I don't remember any lines specifically, but that was funny. That was maybe like a funny part of the movie. They didn't do that much with it, but I don't know. Yeah, all in all, I think I'm giving this movie like a 5 out of 10. It didn't do anything offensively bad. It didn't ruin my day. It just made me a little more bored for 83 consecutive minutes as I slowly realized it was never going to turn around and impress me. There's not even really a message to this movie other than like literally follow what you love. And it is as aimless as that in the movie. I've said everything I have to say. Cool cinematography and kind of lighting, I guess. Cool fight choreography. Not a story to be seen. Outro. That'll do it for this one. I'm going to be having a lot more reviews come out next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the Clerks video out as soon as I would have hoped. Even though I've graduated, there's strangely more that I'm trying to keep track of right now. So that one does unfortunately keep getting pushed back, but that one is still going to be coming out within the next few weeks. I can promise that. And I have to say, I'm really excited for this one. I'm putting a lot of energy into it, so it would mean the world to me if when it does come out, you guys check it out, leave a like, leave a comment. But I think that does it for this video. Catch you guys in the next one, and have a great night, or morning, or whatever time of the day it is there. Peace.